and importance of having a mentor and about avoid reporting on the content of this project. Yes, so please all join me in welcoming Roy.
Thank you very much. So I have good news for you. I'm not going talking about that. That was just a project that was on the path that I hadn't completed. And since the theme was the new normal, I've decided to choose what are you doing? And it's regarding the current situation. And we're international here. We're all around the world. I kind of at times trying to pinch myself to see when will I wake up from this craziness. We've all been kind of, can I say, brainwashed into the circumstances that we're seeing. It's like we're told what to do. There is a lot of fear. I am following a lot of this. I'm doing a lot of research. As some of you know, I actually have a podcast on it as well. I've written a book on different things about exposing. And what I would like to say is, like, knowledge is power. And I don't push my opinion on you, but I also don't like other people's opinion being pushed on me. I just let you know some information based on what I say, and it's up to you then to, one, maybe accept it, or two, research further. And that's what I'd like you to do, because we're living in a time where, unfortunately, the media is corrupt. There is 4 to 5 corporations that own 90% of the media. And they're basically fear-mongering us into what's happening. You watch the news, which I don't do, but I see people and they're going around in fear. I see children in a shopping mall. They have to wear their masks everywhere. And if the children is even touching the glass, the mother is freaking out because they believe that there is a deadly virus around that's going to kill them all. I will give you an example of in Ireland that one guy, we had a medical report from the government, the HSE report, and they had a list of all the numbers. It was like 1,700, they said, that there was COVID deaths. The population is nearly 5 million in Ireland. One of the researchers that I follow, he basically came out and he said, look at this, COVID only 100 deaths. This is in a population of 5 million, and they're saying COVID only 5 million. Yet the whole country is in lockdown. What people aren't remembering is the amount of businesses that are being shut down by this, the amount of depression and suicides that's going up because of this. The guy put this out. He had 600,000 views in 24 hours. Then the fact checkers came along and they blocked it. And they said false information. And of course, the fact checkers are unfortunately controlled by the bad boys. And they're telling you this is incorrect information. But he was showing the information. And what they said is that he told the wrong information. So what he got is he got a microphone. He tried to have a meeting with the fact checkers. They were actually an Irish company. And he got a microphone, started shouting about it and putting it out. And they couldn't respond to that because he was correct. A week later, just the other day, he had a report from the same document, the HSE. Now there's 96 people. And what he said is, ooh, there's 4 people after being resurrected. So we're looking at documentation like this, and everyone is afraid of what's going on. I'm sure most of you will know about Dr. Fauci, the guy in the US, which tends to, everybody around the world follows this. He was in the Senate the other day. He was being asked questions. And one of the guys asked him about how long does it normally take to make a vaccine? It's about 7 years. And yet they're going to rush this vaccine through. And people will line up for it. And then he asked him, what's the success rate of the flu vaccine? Because you'll get all different figures. You hear 40 to 60%. I know my own mother nearly died. She got terribly sick from it. A friend in one of my clubs, he's a young guy, he's 27. He got very sick from it. Said never again from this flu vaccine. Yet they're telling us this is good. Fauci said that's because the strain keeps changing. So that's why it doesn't work as good. And he was asked a question, but isn't COVID the same? And he said, we don't know that yet. So if you're actually believing that, you might as well line up for the injection. There was a guy done a test on the masks, the CO2, and the carbon dioxide from your mouth with these masks actually goes to a dangerous level. I'm seeing people collapsing. There's people getting very sick. You're looking at children in schools that are just sitting around. They have to be socially distanced, as we're told, with a mask on them. They're not allowed to see smiles, and all because of we're told that these numbers. There's a lot of protests. I'm not sure if you're aware that there was 5 million people about 2 weeks ago in Berlin marching. Are any of you aware of that? The reason you're not is because of the media don't want you to know that. They were also in Dublin, in Ireland, and they were in the UK, in London. They actually arrested the guy that organized the protest in London when the people dispersed. They wouldn't do it when he was there. So there's a lot going on. There's a lot of fraud going on. Bill Gates, because he's a billionaire, he's now the person in charge of medicine around the world. If you even just track back to when he was working with Microsoft, wasn't he in front of the competition authority? Wasn't he doing a lot of dirty tricks? If you go on YouTube, you will see him on a video and you can see his guilt as he's bouncing back and forth. Yet the whole world now seems to be listening on every word that he's saying. And the reason that is because the media is playing at you 24/7 and they're hiding all the natural information. So what I would say is don't believe what you see. Start looking at the doctors. There's doctors coming out exposing this. There's doctors saying it's all fake. There's hospitals empty. Start looking at that. Start researching that. And don't step back and think, what can I can't do nothing about this. You need to actually, this is the time that you need to step up and do something about it, because the whole world is in trouble. And if you think you can't do nothing, you're wrong. Every single decision you make has an impact. When you buy a product, if your pension is investing in a pharmaceutical company, you're helping them. Every decision, like a quick example is Netflix. They released a really horrible program called Cuties of little children gyrating on the stage, and it was terrible. But a lot of people stood up and they started unsubscribing from Netflix, and they lost 9 billion on the IPO. So people can make a decision. So what I will say as well, while you research, start looking at comedies, start surrounding yourself with friends, because we're listening to this day and night. And I know this has been a bit harsh, but also keep your psyche up. So watch a comedy, surround yourself with positive friends, but at the same time, don't close your eyes to what's happening, and see, can you make a change?
Thank you, Roy, for yet another great speech. And now I would like